What's up, people? Thank you for joining me. This video is about my memories growing up as a kid, 60s and 70s, and all the good, the bad, and the ugly things that I did, or I should say we did. So come on a trip while I tell you some stories, and hopefully they will spark your own memories and what you're thinking in your own childhood. So growing up as a kid, I was the kid that grew up with a banana seat bike. There was an old guy, we were like 6, old guy that we used to talk to. Sat in a chair, gave us candy, we sit and talk to him. Spent hours and hours just chatting with them, spending time with them every day, every other day, and then one time you notice he's not there. As a kid, you just, okay, I don't know, maybe something's going on. You continue. And then that day turns into a week, a month. Then you slowly find out, you ask your mother or your dad and say, whatever happened to Joe? Oh, Joe passed away. Wow. And he's forgotten. Another memory was I was lucky enough to live across the street or down the street within walking distance to woods and a pond. So growing up, I got to run around like a banshee in the woods every year. From spring to summer, I would watch the breeding of frogs turn into spots, to tadpoles, to frogs with tails, to full frogs. Because every day I was down there walking the shoreline and they were all there, these black things swimming around. And boy, you got to, not just that, you got to notice bunnies and coyotes and foxes with the kits and everything else. And nature was abundant. If you were lucky enough to live near some woods, if you could, that was awesome. And how about this one? I was a kid that I remember playing with my Hot Wheels, sitting on a curb in front of my house, bring out my case of Hot Wheels, and just running them on the ground. The imagination we had back then was incredible. You don't see that stuff anymore. How about this one? The greatest thing you had if you had a bike was when someone found a pair of, or a pack of cards, and then you had to go find, I think it was not paper clips, clothes clips, stick the card in between the spokes and have everything set up so when you started spinning the wheel, it was like a motorcycle sound, and that was the greatest thing in the world. Because the faster you went, the thicker the cards, it sounded like that was your experience to driving a motorcycle on your bike. And it was an awesome, if you remember that, it was an awesome sound. And how about this one? We're the generation that were stupid enough. Someone had some bricks. We all had BMXs. They found some bricks, stack them on top, not knowing that they would fall, putting someone's piece of plywood ramp on it and thinking we could jump over things. And when that didn't work, we still lived. Someone said, we need something better. So you find a rock, not knowing that now is teeter-totter. And if you survived that, you said, okay, what else can we use? And then someone's father, if they were smart enough and cunning enough and wanted to do it, they built you a ramp. 2x4 ramp that was sturdy. And boy, that was the greatest thing in the world. To get as a boy, a young boy in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, if you could get your BMX bike not only to launch off that ramp, when you got airborne, that was the greatest thrill. You were Evel Knievel. That was the closest thing to that. We spent so much time playing Red Rover and Relivio and hide and seek and trying to find people in, walking around at nights. It was true. It was like you were out all day drinking hose water. That's all we had to drink. There was no bottled water. I remember hiding so good that when the street lights came on, I remember someone yelling, "Hey Phil, we're all going in the house. The game's over." Okay, that was my time to come out. I hid too damn good. Those were good times that the kids nowadays will never, ever know. I guess you can't miss what you don't know. What else was there? Any ideas, let me know. Drop them in the line. I went to the Ballaroo. It was called the Ballaroo in Medford or Somerville Line, Massachusetts. And it was a roller skating rink. Good times. Meet girls, eat, hang out after work with your friends, and learn to roller skate. Good times. And then it all changed when you got your license. Because then you said, okay, I got my license. If you had a brother or a sister, you usually got their hand-me-down car, and you didn't care. It was the greatest thing. Then you got to get a job and save for your own car. What car was that? I had a 76 Pontiac Sunbird, which was technically a Chevy Vega, if you know what that was. It's just a remodified, rebranded, streamlined car. Same thing. My first job was probably paper route and working at a donut shop. Oh boy. I tell you, the donut shop that I worked at, not to get gruesome, right next to a train track station where the poles came down, the gates. Being over there a lot, I saw the aftermath of a guy and a dog get hit. Dog I felt bad for. The guy was just a drunk, and I know he had a family, but I actually saw him a day before it happened. He came into the donut shop, drunk, of course, talking to someone. And then the next day I found out, so-and-so, he stepped in front of a train. That's how he ended his life. And I remember going out, and in the middle of the tracks, there was, they had a top over it. One piece of his body and the other piece of his body. All I saw were the lumps, like with the top over them. It was something to see as a kid, it's like, wow, those are life lessons. Crazy. Crazy stuff. What did you guys remember? Drop a line. Let me know if you ever saw anything crazy like that. All the memories weren't the best in the 80s, 90s, and 70s, and 60s, but they were memories, they were life lessons. All life lessons. They were all about learning. Yeah, crazy thoughts, but we survived. We're still here for now. Make the most of it. Enjoy.